Hey everybody, welcome back to Team Lit, and today we are doing some EDO replays. So myself and Andre are playing, and we decided just to do a bit of a record on this since it's a Flunder versus Dino matchup. Andre is extremely well known for his Dino DNA combos, and I'm testing out the birds. So yeah, let's get into the games and see how it plays out. So the first thing is, if you look at my hand, I don't start with any of the Flunder names. So this is going to be a bit of digging to try and get a name so I can actually play. And then to that I changed the shifter obviously being the most OP card ever, and the barrier statue being the other OP card in this deck. So get out the Advent. Now this is actually, in my opinion, the biggest misplay I made in this game. I was so focused on getting a name, I completely missed the opportunity to actually have an even better board than I would have had. So in the previous Excavate 3 and Add 1, there was a Golden Sarcophagus. So it was Impin, Advent, and Golden Sarcophagus. Now Advent requires a cost to banish, which is my barrier statue. I actually did this assuming I played 2 barrier statue. Remember guys, don't forget what's actually in your deck, because if this would have buried me in any other situation. So I have to obviously now banish the barrier statue. Whereas I could have just got the Golden Sarcophagus, activated it, banished the Rubina, normal summon the barrier statue, got the Rubina back to hand, and then because I have map, I can do the exact same play that I was trying to do here, but I would have had a barrier statue. But here we go. So let's go through it. So pre-standard, get the Rubina after the weirdest way possible, and do the basic Flundery combo. 1-2 Eaglin effect, get the Impin summon, 1-2 again with the Rubina back to hand, Impin searching out your trap card. Then I set 2 and I pass. In most cases, this is still technically a pretty strong board, but in the current format, you're asking to get a bit savaged. Okay, this isn't really enough to really stonewall the game, but thankfully the shifter does buy me a lot of time. And in fact, shifter basically carried this entire game one, because I'm assuming that Andre has a really good hand, but unfortunately, even though his hand is really good, it's kind of better for going first rather than anything else. So even then, it's a little bit awkward to play because he doesn't actually see any of his starters. And because of that, and the shifter, if he would play now, he'd be overcommitting and I would win. So he tried to end the main phase. I just immediately shotgun to make the Apex Avian to negate anything that's coming, because you never know. A lot of decks do play evenly matched in the main deck because of, you know, just trying to play through boards that most decks play. Flunders is one of them, Tears, you name it. And obviously he passed turn and I need to kill him. So here you can see all I was doing was just making sure that I can just get enough damage on board, and I would have eventually just gotten to another Impin or even a Riser and killed him, and he surrendered. Okay, cool. Game 1 was just pretty straightforward, but a lot of misplays. Now we can go into game 2. So game 2, we're siding, and I'm assuming that, you know, he's going to be going first and setting up a big board, and all I need to do is just break through that board. Hence, Dark Ruler no more and other board breakers that I've had in the deck, right? I've added into the deck. So I'm like, okay, cool. Let's see how this goes. Let's see what board he makes going first. And he just passes turn. This was actually like a really big brain move because this completely threw me off. I wasn't expecting him to pass turn. So right now my brain's thinking like, holy crap, did he brick on hand traps, or does he have like just so many hand traps and combo that he can just absolutely stop me from setting up board and then kill me the following turn? Like completely just trying to size up each other's plays and figure out what they're doing. So I figured, okay, he kind of wants me to overcommit and build a board, and then he has board breakers, so let me not give into that and then just set up a very decent board. So I just go for the dig just to see, you know, what cards I can get for the setup, and unfortunately we just end up with just a lot of maps. So I'm like, okay, cool, let's just do a barrier patch statue and set a call by the grave. You know, statue basically turns off everything. He has to waste his normal summon and again go into battle phase and kill the barrier statue and then, you know, deal with me afterwards. and the Call by the Grave to hit the Misk. You know, I'm thinking I'm pretty safe right now, but yeah, I wasn't actually ready for this. So all he has to do is Cosmic the set card and then Droplet the barrier statue, and it's pretty much it for me. That Fossil Dig to get Oviraptor is enough. Full Dino combo, I die, and that's all she writes. So game 2 was a little bit lackluster. I actually lost the mental game here, and I could have probably just gotten away with setting up a board. But yeah, always interesting to see how just, you know, out of the ordinary plays can throw off some of these games so much, and it was cool to see. So now it's for game 3. So we're going to game 3, and I opt to go first. So I'm like, okay, cool. I drew the barrier statue each time because apparently that's a thing. And I'm like, right, let me just not fall for it the last time, and let me just go for it. So I'm just going to go for it, build the board, take it from there. So we have a pretty great hand. Something I would like to highlight is there is a Book of Moon in my hand. Now, a lot of Flunder players have opted to cut this and just go with like board breakers because, you know, they're just seeing tiers and all this crazy boards that they just need to like say, okay, well, cuck, board break, play the game, or hold the board breaker for your turn, or that kind of stuff. Personally, I like Book of Moon. I think Book of Moon is a extremely underrated card, especially in South African's format. I mentioned in my Sword Soul video that SA isn't exactly like other countries in their meta. We have our own meta where people are playing their own decks. It's not even the fact that, you know, players just... We do have an availability problem, like obviously not everybody can play the tiers and the Floowandereeze and all those kind of decks, but people also just enjoy Yu-Gi-Oh! And they play what they like. So you're going to be playing a lot of Rogue, a lot of these decks, even Sword Souls, like, I mean, Maven reprint, right? So boom, everyone wants to play Sword Souls. That's a synchro deck, and it link summons, so you want to kind of just, you know, use a Book of Moon, maybe just flip maybe the Moi face down, or the Long Yang, so they can't go into a Baron, or you know, whatever Baxia, whatever they want to play, to be honest. And even link decks, you know, like I said, we lost to Scareclaw. Scareclaw is a link deck. They have a few weaknesses, not that many to be honest, but Book of Moon might help, might not help, you know. So you need to look at these tech choices in order to kind of get your edge and just settle into a different format, you know. Don't expect us to play like a strong deck and then it's like, okay, autopilot, you're going to win. You need to be prepared for anything. And Book of Moon is one of those cards where a lot of hand traps have been played. I mean, Effect Veiler, there we go. Perfect. But I did also draw the Advent. However, let's say I don't see the Advent and I see the Book of Moon, it's just like basically 3 copies of Dodging Imperm or Effect Veiler. Extra on top of the Advent, I mean. So yeah, let's just go with the board. So standard Bud play, Rabina, Impen, and there we go. Then he has the Effect Veiler, but I go for Advent because, you know, the extra 5 island life points is also awesome. Get out the Stree, do the combo, banish that Effect Veiler because we don't want that to be used for the double evolution pull later down the line. And cool, pretty normal Flunder board. You got your barrier statue, got your Impen, you got the trap card, and then boom, a Book of Moon. Now, Andre has a great hand as well to break the board, but here we go. So he's doing the plays and he negates my field. Okay, I'm immediately, like, my response is I'm gonna shotgun in and make my Apex Avium to negate something. You know, it's probably an evenly match. I'm just expecting the evenly match at this point. I'm like, let's just go. And no, it's not. It's, in fact, Kid Kalos. So Kid Kalos is a little bit of spicy tech. You know, the whole mull effect. Dinos like being mulled. So Oviraptor can do combo plays and do some shenanigans. And yeah, so let's just see how this goes out for him. So immediately he summons the Shirin. I DD Crow foolishly, thinking that this is gonna stop the T element like it does with these monsters, but you know, bit of misplay, heat of the moment, completely would have lost me the game. But in a roundabout way, I'm like, you know what, I'm not gonna surrender, let's just see how it goes. So he normal summons the Oviraptor, and I'm like, cool, Apex Avion. So at this point, he's committed monsters to his field. I'm safe from the evenly matched, and you know, I have a pretty advantageous position because this will be in my hand. I can do a Rabina, go with the Riser play, and then go for the Throat in the next turn. But this goes to show, even with this misplay, sometimes you just have to play the duel out and see if your opponent either doesn't really have a follow-up play or misplays themselves on top of your misplay, like they just play worse than you and you can just clutch a win. But yeah guys, so this was Dino versus Floowandereeze. You know, it was very hand relevant, I feel, at the same time. I did get the more favorable hands in my opinion compared to the Dino player, but it just goes to show that, you know, Floowandereeze is a really strong deck. It's good, it's consistent. Obviously you do need cards like Prosperity, but you can play Extravagance. And yeah, you know, it's a very competitive deck, and Dino still got it. You know, Dinos can still kick a punch. So if you're feeling that maybe the format's too unfair and you can't really play, then just give it a shot. Try. You know, we're in a very diverse meta. You hear an essay, and you know, the sky's your limit. It's all about, it's more skill difference sometimes than it is actually like someone just having better cards than you. You can facilitate more stuff to stop their plays and play a little bit out of the box to kind of make up for the gap. Yes, don't get me wrong, Tears Floowandereeze on a league of their own in terms of consistency and how much they can do to you. It's not that easy as just saying, oh well, you know, Tears is the strongest deck, so I'm just going to play 3 DD Crows and 3 Skullmeisters and, you know, 3 of all the Bestials and I'll win. It's not like that, especially not here. And that's kind of the biggest reasons why I actually enjoy South African locals so much, is because of that just complete, how should I say, randomness that you get. You know, you're always getting thrown a curveball at locals and you have to just adapt and push yourself a little bit. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the duel, and yeah, I'm gonna go into the Floowandereeze deck profile because it did win, and yeah, see how it goes.